experiment I'm doing today is the potato enzyme lab. So the first thing you need is a glass cup or a beaker, and it's just so you can see the reaction. And you need hydrogen peroxide, and then you need a potato so you can cut it into 3 slices. So you cut the 3 slices so you can have a control, which is the room temperature potato. And then your 2 variables. One you put in the freezer to freeze the potato slice, and one we're gonna boil. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the control experiment. So all I'm gonna do is cut the slice of the potato. Once you finish cutting the slice of the potato, you're gonna take your hydrogen peroxide and pour it into your glass. You wanna pour it enough to where the potato slice will be fully submerged under. So, once I drop the potato into the hydrogen peroxide, and I know it's been submerged, I don't know if you can see this, but it's starting to bubble. And what's actually happening is there's an enzyme in the potato that's breaking apart the hydrogen peroxide, and it's splitting it into water and oxygen. So that's what's on the top. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to boil our next potato slice. So let me get it out. So here's the boiled potato. Put that in. As you can see, it's steaming still. And then once again, submerge it into hydrogen peroxide. As you can see this time, there's no bubbles or anything. I mean, there's a few, but really not that much. Last time it had a lot of white on the top. Now I'm going to take my frozen potato and do the exact same thing. Submerge. Okay, so getting a little white at the top. I don't know if you can see it. Getting a little white. In conclusion, we see that the temperature did affect the enzymes. The control had the most decomposition of the hydrogen peroxide. If I get close up, you can see that it is still working, and that there's a lot of white bubbled up on the top there. And then we look at boiled, and the boiled really didn't do that much. As you can see, it generated a little bit of bubbles, but for the most part, no reaction really occurred. And then with the frozen, a little reaction has occurred, but definitely not as much. And also, it's still going. But this was done a long time after we did our control. So what we learned from the experiment today, scientifically, was that temperature did affect our enzyme, because when it got too hot, it didn't work anymore. And when it got too cold, the process slowed down. So that's the potato enzyme lab.